Hi friends! So look, the gaslighting video essay is coming. It's just that the topic is quite complex and it got so big that I'm actually thinking that I have to record 2 separate videos out of the content. So that's what I've been up to. But in the meantime, I wanted to ask if anybody caught the latest episode of Psychology in Seattle. It's called Why He-Man Made Umberto Fight His Family. Great title. The reason I bring it up is because it actually really perfectly illustrated some of the themes from my most recent video on nostalgia. So, context. The podcast is hosted by Dr. Kirk Honda, who's a therapist and a professor, and Umberto, who I believe made his money like, you know how Ziploc bags have those 2 color lines at the top so that you can make sure that you get a good seal? I'm pretty sure that he invented the pink one, the pink strip. So, in this particular episode, Umberto is telling the story about how he went to go see Masters of the Universe movie and he super loved it, and he gets in the car with his family, his wife and his 2 kids, and he's just kind of sharing and mulling over what was so good about it, and his family's just not super feeling it, as is their right. However, what's unusual about this situation is that, I think by his own admission, he genuinely loses on them. I'll leave timestamps below describing the incident, but he describes himself bawling while he's driving, trying to explain why this movie is so important to him. And if you have ever been in a fight in a car, it's the worst. It is the worst. I feel like it just definitely amplifies the horribleness of what anyone is saying by at least a factor of 3.4. So, anyways, Kirk Honda, as the therapist on the show, chimes in and uses the term regression to describe Umberto regression into his 7-year-old hurt self who is throwing a fit because his current family cannot see and identify or connect with this movie. Now, I'm obviously oversimplifying. It is over a 1-hour episode, so you can go check it out. But the reason I bring it up is because it reminded me of the Sociology of Nostalgia video I put up, where we talked about why people sometimes lose their minds when franchises get rebooted or characters get changed, which I really didn't understand before I started to read about nostalgia. So the takeaway is really that our feelings of connection and even protection about things from our past are never really about the thing itself, or not only about the thing itself. It's really about the context of reception, right? So it's the time, the place, the people you're with, your view on life at the time when you first encountered that thing, that movie, that song, that band, what have you. You mess with that, you're messing with not only that piece of culture, but the whole wider context of reception that makes up that person's memory or a person's context in their life. So what's so interesting about the story that Umberto offers us is that he's so super aware of these associations and meanings that he attaches to the He-Man universe. This includes the fact that he shares when he was a young boy, he came from a broken family, and at some point, his aunt, the sister of his mother, gives him a Masters of the Universe toy and says explicitly that it was a gift from his mother who had previously left the family. And at this point of his life, he's also not with his father. There's even more layers on top of that. But fast forward to the present, and Umberto connects those early experiences or contexts of reception and all the feelings attached to them to why he got so triggered by his family not really connecting or seeing the value of that movie in the same way. First of all, good on this guy for doing the work and to understand and to be able to be self-aware enough to make these types of linkages between the emotional and the commercial, the past and the present. And this is exactly the type of work that interpretive nostalgia invites us to do. So I was thinking about what thing from my past, what cultural object would absolutely make me lose my mind if someone tinkered with it, and I think my answer is the LucasArts game, Monkey Island. I don't even want to talk about it because I don't even want to tempt fate. That would make me pretty irate. But clearly I need to do some interpretive nostalgic reflection around that. How about you? What would just make you see red if you ever saw them tinkering with that? Otherwise, I'll be back with that gaslighting video before you know it. In the meantime, stay safe and stay curious.